back to the Daily Grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Mark Hunt has been medically cleared to return to fighting after being pulled from his main event versus Marcin Tybura in Sydney and being replaced with Fabricio Werdum after Mark Hunt was deemed unfit to fight due to the interview he did leading up to that fight, where he stated he was like starting to slur his words and can't remember like what he had for breakfast and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? So the UFC pulled him due to his own words. Mark Hunt was like, no, you know, it was kind of over exaggerated, they took it out of context. Now Mark Hunt has did the needed necessary medical testing to come back to fighting, and he's targeting a fight with Fabricio Werdum. Now it has a little bit of legs to it as far as the Mark Hunt Fabricio Werdum fight. There's a little bit of history here. Fabricio Werdum has knocked out Mark Hunt once in the past. They fought once before, but Mark Hunt has been calling for the rematch for a while now, and Fabricio Werdum actually gave an excuse to Mark Hunt. You know, this is how it happened. I mean, you can make your own judgments, but this is from me keeping up with the shit. So Mark Hunt, or Fabricio Werdum was scheduled to face Derek Lewis, and Mark Hunt came out after that. Yo, what's up? This dude's a dog shit coward, talking about Fabricio Werdum. He said he told me he wasn't ready to fight me, but now he's here ready to fight Derek Lewis. You know, he pretty much called him a coward and said he was ducking him. Well, Fabricio Werdum came out after that and said, no, it's got nothing to do with me ducking you. I just, you know, it takes a lot of money to move my entire camp to Australia, to move my camp overseas. It takes thousands of dollars. People don't realize that. So it's got nothing to do with Mark Hunt. I just don't want to move my team overseas, you know what I'm saying, because it costs a lot of money. So everything went down. Fabricio Werdum ended up not fighting Derek Lewis because Derek Lewis pulled out due to injury, but he fought Walt Harris on short notice. Well, afterward, Fabricio Werdum ended up going overseas, where he originally said he didn't want to take his team, to fight Marcin Tybura in the UFC Sydney main event. Not only did he go overseas, as he said he really didn't want to before, but he was replacing Mark Hunt, the guy who was calling him out. So it's just a little bit of controversy there, as, I mean, you know, just keeping up with the storyline. Fabricio Werdum said he wasn't going to fight Mark Hunt because he didn't want to go overseas, and then he took the opportunity to go overseas when he had the opportunity to replace Mark Hunt, who got pulled out of the main event in Sydney. So it's kind of interesting. I would definitely love to see a rematch between Mark Hunt and Fabricio Werdum. It's looking like Francis Ngannou is going to be fighting Stipe Miocic next, so it really doesn't leave any clear contenders for Fabricio Werdum to fight in the meantime. Fabricio Werdum has taken 2 fights recently, so he could be looking to take a little bit of a break, as he fought Walt Harris and Marcin Tybura within about a month of each other. I mean, he won both of those fights pretty flawlessly. The first one was a really quick submission, first round submission over Walt Harris, and then he 5-round decision over Marcin Tybura, where he still pretty much outclassed Marcin Tybura in that fight. And now Fabricio Werdum, who's looking to get back to a title shot, is kind of sitting in the wings as he waited on, you know, Stipe Miocic's contract negotiations, the current UFC heavyweight champion, and also the #1 contender fight between Alistair Overeem and Francis Ngannou, which Francis Ngannou just won in devastating fashion with that uppercut from hell. So now it's looking like, I mean, a lot of people are pretty sure, have confirmed, but I mean, there's no date yet, but it has been confirmed Francis Ngannou versus Stipe Miocic is the next fight, but there's still no date, so whatever that means. But with that being said, Fabricio Werdum, Alistair Overeem just got knocked out. Who is left for Fabricio Werdum to fight aside from Mark Hunt? Mark Hunt's back, and this fight doesn't have to be in Sydney. I'm sure now Mark Hunt's going to be fine fighting wherever Fabricio wants, because he wants this fight at this point, hopefully. I mean, it is what it is, though. Mark Hunt's medically cleared to return to fighting. Looking forward to his return back to the octagon. I wonder when it's going to be. I don't know how soon it's going to be, but it is what it is, man. This was revealed in a conference call. I'll just read what they had to say. Mark Hunt's manager had to say real fast before I get out of here. He said, "We've just had a conference call with the doctors in the States who gave us good news. The doctor said Mark scored well above average and that he's good to compete. We're waiting on the UFC to clear him, and we'd like to go up against Fabricio Werdum and hopefully be in line for a title shot at the back end of 2018. So that'd be fun. I mean, what do you guys think about Francis Ngannou or Stipe Miocic versus Mark Hunt? We've already seen Stipe Miocic versus Mark Hunt, but I said Francis Ngannou. We got to see Stipe versus Francis first. We're not thinking that far ahead, man. It is what it is. Mark Hunt's back and he wants Fabricio Werdum. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you tell me in the comments. I'm out.
da 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 da. It's the motherfucking D-O double G.